Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of my trading journal. Today is Friday night, 6:26 p.m., and we're just gonna have a moment to talk about what's happened this week. I know I said I was gonna take a trade no matter what, but unfortunately, that was not the case. So it is clear to me that if the market hasn't got the opportunities, we can't trade, and it's just what it is. It's no point forcing something that it isn't. Now there was a whole bunch of trades that moved, yes, but unfortunately they moved against the signals that we were waiting for, so we were not able to take a trade. And as we know, as I know, a trade will have a big push from a long bullish trend to pullback, right? And the pullback has happened against our trading rules at a much deeper retracement than I obviously hoped for. And we kept missing area of interest after area of interest after area of interest, not missing them as in waiting at each individual area of interest. And it just ended up going all at the bottom. So kind of almost like a ranging market, but it's hard to know it. So I can't tell yet the indicators of a ranging market or not. So yeah, there was no trades taken this week, sadly, but I have got a bit of a development on Euro USD. I've just posted this on Instagram just now. As you remember, I have taken this trade ages ago, 2 months ago, and I have been holding it for that whole time. Now, let me just quickly go to daily so I can roughly show you what happened. So I have mistakenly put a buy in at this level here, right here. I said, hey, this market is going to go to the upside from here. For whatever reason, even though everything was bearish, I decided that I was going to go up instead of down. Anyway, so I've been holding. I decided to hold. The worst this has been was $1.3 million. Now you're gonna think, oh my god, Ricky, you're rich. No, this is my fake account, my demo account. The reason I went for a $5 million account is because Alex G, he's the guy that I've learned from, or I'm learning from, I should say, and he has obviously 3.8 or so millions of dollars, and he's always making all this big money. So I thought to myself, maybe having a big account is what makes the difference. And honestly, you will see from that account, it fucking does make a difference. Having a big account, it will make you a successful trader in no time. Now, the reason is okay is because you can risk a substantial amount of money and allow that stop loss to move. Now, it is not impossible, but it is possible to wick the whole account out. But what my exercise just proven to me is that no matter how wrong it has gone, this market would, well, I can't really say never, but for this market to go back down to this lower has ever been. Let me see. You see, this was the deepest, and this would have probably, if we were to go on another bearish streak like this, I would have probably wicked my account out, and that's possible. But anyway, look, there's no point in arguing about that. The reality is the account, I have saved that account. I have saved it from the point of me exiting at the break even. So just further, just a little bit fast forward, I mean. I had my trade. What are we? Let's move this. So this is where I was supposed to break even, right? So I've been waiting and watching and waiting and watching, and I'm like, oh yeah, damn, I'm gonna do it. Then the market reaches here and I fall asleep. I was like so mad, so mad. And I missed this opportunity. This probably was $17,000 plus, 17,000 in profit. I thought to myself, okay, I could have exited there, damn it. And I didn't, right? And then you had a pull back, pull down, pull back. And we have all of these almost like doji rejections. They're not dojis, but they, just very, very compressed rejections. So a lot of resistance in the market. I can see there was a burst here of like buyers in, and I can see the sellers almost matching, sellers pushing back the same even, and then a full engulfing signal at about this level here. And I'm like, okay, there's hope. There is hope. There is hope. Also at the 4 hourly, this was the bullish leg at the time from here to there. So we didn't break below that. So it was a lot of resistance. And then once we broke above, which was this one, it was it wasn't, to me anyway at the time, it just didn't seem that it was going to go higher, right? So it went all the way up to about here, 17 grand again. I'm waiting, nothing happens. I was pulling back, pulling back. And then I'm like, damn, I need to do something about it. And I went to 30-minute. I look at the 30-minute and pull to 17 grand and then back to just about zero. This red line is a little bit higher, but oh yeah, there. Was about there. So I went minus again. And I was so mad and so sad that shit, I waited 2 months. I had my opportunity to exit and I didn't take it. Then the market has done another push. It went to about here and it was really, really struggling about 1:30 a.m. I was tired. I just wanted to just get out of it and feel peaceful. So when I exited with $5,000 plus. However, I had the fees running it for 2 months was 20 grand. So I basically lost 15 grand. But the good news is my account is back at 6.2 million, 6.3 million. I started this account in April. So since April to now, I managed to obviously get a couple of good trades, quite a few good trades actually. And they worked, right? And then this one kind of proved to me that it was able to pull back. It's not the right thing to do. Obviously, it was a mistake, and I got lucky. I don't think is how this should work. I should and I will enter with a stop loss, and then I don't have to worry about it. But just for this instance, I didn't. So I didn't have a stop loss. I didn't have a take profit, and I just went to 500 units. Demo count didn't really matter. No emotions really, but just wanted to see what's happening, and I exited. I exited when this market was about here. Let me get you another indicator marker, whatever we want to call it here. I took my break even and 5,000, roughly about there. This doesn't matter anyway, just for you to see. And I exited and I went to sleep. Come morning, I see, I'll just go to 4 hourly quickly. I see this freaking nasty push to the upside. And I feel so mad. So mad. I was so mad at myself. Like, you know, there was nothing apart from one thing that indicated to me that we are actually going to have a pullback. I actually thought that we are creating a double top here, just here. 1, 2, to reject and go bearish again. Even though, look at this beautiful error. I've marked this error here 2 months ago. This is how it all started. So the mistake I made then, I was anticipating this move, but it had a much deeper pullback. Anyway, never entered of anticipation, but yeah, I missed on getting this stupid trade up. I would say if I had 5,000 approximately there, let's see it another way. So if this was, yeah, there, if this was 1.3 million from here to there, let's see what this was. This is probably $1 million. I could have had that account up at $7 million. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's done and dusted now. So I just wanted to talk about it because it's really, really important lesson for me, you know. Just because I saw this one thing that made me kind of rethink my strategy. And that's not good because if you have rules, you should stick to the rules. If I would have followed my rules, I would have been able to capture this and just run with it. The other thing, obviously holding over 2 months, I was tired of this trade not making it to break even, you know, and then I was focused on exiting at break even. I've never, even though I had this whole picture in my mind about this trade going the way it had to go, I had all of the confluences in the right way to actually show me a positive move. And yet I stalled. I exited at just above break even and not even breaking even because this one thing. So I'm just going to show you what I saw and then you can judge me. So at the monthly level, and I know it's a really, really high time frame, but at a monthly level, as you can actually read here, monthly bearish closed with head and shoulders plus a retest of the neckline. So this one thing this one thing has had confirmation that is a head and shoulders. Let me just put this off quickly. And candles on, off, sorry. You can see this again. Left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. And then we had the retest of the neckline. Already, so when I exited, when I took that break even, it was at this level here. It was at this level here. So I personally assumed, which is a bad thing to say, I assumed that is it. I missed it. But it's clear to me now that we are pushing a lot higher. But just remember, monthly is still 10 days away from closing. As far as I'm concerned, this can go all the way to, I don't know, to China here, and then come back and close, you know, at this level here. Let's see the candles, what they look like. So as far as I'm concerned, this month hasn't concluded yet. It can have a ginormous push, just like this one here. It can go all the way there and then just close down at the neckline. And only then to see the push to the downside. I still believe this is going to go to the downside. That's a beautiful, beautiful head and shoulders at the perfect level to show a reversal. However, when that's going to happen, it's just a matter of time. I mean, market is going to basically show us when. But I had everything showing me that even though monthly was bearish, it was still in a pullback. Everything aligned, the direction of all of the candles aligned. I mean, all of the time frames was going exactly the same way. And yet because I saw this and I was so firm on it, and then because I was tired over 2 months with this trade, I wanted to break even. I lost probably $1 million. I mean, there's no point trying to figure out exactly what it is, but I actually lost, you know, $15,000. After waiting 2 months, I lost $15,000, and I could have been up $1 million or 600-700 grand, whatever that is. It is really frustrating, and it's a big lesson about my questions about this whole channel, because I said, can trading change my life? But the second question that appeared was, can I change my life in order to be a better trader? And what I just proved to myself now, I haven't changed yet. But what's happening now is part of me changing and becoming a better trader and understanding that not everything you see is right unless you see it at the right time in the right place on the market, right? So for me, this had a big impact on understanding how I'm kind of looking at the market. Now this particular one here, looking at monthly higher time frame is not a bad idea, but it is a bad idea when I let this dictate what weekly, daily, and 4-hourly does, because from a weekly point of view to the monthly point of view, it's such a big difference still. I mean, we can see ginormous weekly move before we can see anything. I mean, in fact, if I take the longest week I can see here, is there a, okay, let's look at this wick right here, just this wick right here from the very top to the very bottom, and you can see what I'm trying to say is all of this ginormous, all of that ginormous move, right? Let me see if I can put another square around it so we can find it. All of that, this is how many weeks it had taken to move. Let me see. Okay, there. Okay, so we can see how big of a push we had. Come on, go away. How big of a push we had, and this it's pretty much a doji at a monthly level. So it just went all the way up and all the way down. And if I'm going down to 4-hourly, for example, it's going to be even more impressive, I'm pretty sure. Where are we? It's way too small, hard to see. I think it's this one. Yeah. So look at this 4-hourly. Just it's such a big move, so it doesn't really matter. It only matters for the bigger picture, understanding what's actually happening on this market. So you kind of, when you look at monthly, it's like stepping really far back and looking at the bigger picture and kind of understanding, is it bearish, bullish, what is that? And then if the lower time frame aligns with that, that means the probability of that trade going that way is much higher. So we can use it as a confluence, but do not use it for what I just did. Anyways, yeah. So that's the lesson for this week, for this big trade that has finally concluded for me. I exited with $5,000 plus. However, because of the fees, they actually cut the account down by 15 grand, which really doesn't matter on the grand scheme of things. But yeah, just a beautiful lesson learned. A beautiful lesson learned. And what can I say? Trust the process. Trust the process. It is, it is what it is. Do not bend your rules just because you saw something. So that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing for me. Sorry. Thirsty. All right. So that being said, what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna move in very quickly. Just go through the pairs that we had eyeballed for this week. I'm not gonna break them down. I'm just gonna kind of go through them and just see what they've done. I don't think I wanna do the analysis now because we're gonna do the analysis video on Sunday for the next week. And some of these trades may still make it for next week. I had a look already, and some of them are still kind of, they still what is it called? They still. Oh, why can't I remember the word? It comes to my mind. They're still composing, but it's not the word. And they are still compressing. Shit, I forget the word. Anyway, they still cooking. That's it. That's the word. Let's say they are still cooking. All right. And possibly next week we're gonna see them move. We're just gonna go at the very top and just start with GBP CAD. This is the first pair that we had on our list. And basically it hasn't really done much. This is at a weekly level. We are bullish at a weekly level, and we are obviously in a pullback, and we are just now reaching this this area of interest, which is pretty good. I mean, I can't say we are reaching it now. This is weekly, so weekly being bullish, we're looking for a bullish move, so we're looking for buys based on weekly. Now daily, we're waiting for daily to give us the confirmation. Now daily is bearish, so for us, in order to take this trade, we need daily to be bullish, and daily is being bearish, which means we are going deeper into this area of interest. And I am really waiting to get an engulfing bullish signal that's going to change daily to bullish. Like currently, we're still having a deeper push to the downside. 4 hourly is currently bullish, which is a good indicator that daily might be changing soon. But from my point of view, I would rather have daily, a week, 4 hourly go bearish, get a deeper retracement, and then have the push to the upside, change the 4 hourly to bullish, and change the daily to bullish, have an engulfing signal probably at 30 minutes with a break of structure and a retest of break of structure to go up, to go bullish. And this trade is going to be definitely a trade that we want to keep an eye on for next week. It is possible that we will be taking it. And I think, well, based on what I've just learned about our Euro USD, I'm almost hesitant in actually putting a take profit, because we are in a place where we would see a big push to the upside. We are very, very close to the weekly high low, which means we are in a very, very discount area. And if this market is to have a push to the upside, and if we're getting all of the signals, that means that we will see a bigger push, not just a small push. But yeah, it's been cooking. I still can't remember the word. It's been cooking for such a long time. You can see it's this ginormous, like it's probably what, 2 weeks? Oh, sorry, maybe a full week of just. And I hate that I can't remember the word. Fuck, you know. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it. It's gonna do my head in. So yeah, this GBP. Sorry, I was gonna say British pound. The GBP CAD has got pretty good setup. I mean, hasn't got a pretty good setup. It looks like a pretty good setup. and I will keep an eye on it for next week. So Sunday when we do the analysis, I don't actually think I'm gonna have to do much because this is pretty good. As in, we're just waiting to see. Euro NZD had a beautiful push to the downside. Now, just going back to weekly for a second, this is the only one that I actually haven't had my analysis done, but I just looked at it randomly, and it looked like it was really, really good, really close at the area of interest, and I just saved it to have a look at it. I did say that this is going to have a push to the downside. It was bearish when I looked at it, and it was actually close to the area of interest, I believe, when I looked at it, but I obviously didn't do much about it. And then you're dropping it daily, same thing. Boom, boom, boom. So we are at the area of interest daily. We've seen rejection for the past 3 days. We had the big bullish push on Monday, back to the area of interest. We kind of had this let's call it liquidity sweep. Then we had an entry signal at a daily level, which is absolutely beautiful. That's a beautiful indicator. That right there is exactly what I would enter, and I would still stick to the same area of interest, and that should have a push to the downside. But of course, I didn't enter, so I would say this probably is one of my biggest weaknesses. I'm scared to enter anywhere but at the area of interest, and I think there's a couple of things that's starting to shape up in my mind because I'm risking my whole account. There's such a small room for error for me that I really need to not fuck it up. So if the closest I am to the area of interest, in my mind, the better chances of getting that 0.5 reward, as in 1 to 0.5. The further away I am, the less likely is to make that. So it's constantly stressing me out, which is making me realize maybe I should, because I have 2 accounts. I have one X-Trade, and I have the Black Bull Markets. Black Bull Market's only $100, and the other one is about 450. So maybe it's just the time for me to start looking at the Black Bull Market and just take some fucking trades with 2%, 3%, 5% risk, whatever. Just get some trades in under my belt, and learn, experience emotion and all that. I've been really struggling. I've been really struggling with that side of things, and it's clear to me. And with the interest signal, I have had entry signals in the past as well, but that hasn't really allowed me to feel comfortable enough to say, yeah, that's the one. Let's take it. But hey, look, enough crying. Right now, it is what it is. So it's just lessons learned for me moving forward. So as I was saying, weekly is bearish with a bearish move, which is beautiful. Daily is bearish with a bearish move, which is again beautiful. We're going down to the 4-hourly, and 4-hourly is also frozen. Why frozen? I do not like this. It does this from time to time. You're gonna have to just stare at me. I can't talk about anything. I guess while this is doing its thing, I just want to fill you up on something. I've been working on an indicator today with ChatGPT, an indicator that will show us the area of interest. There you go. And basically what that's going to do is not really going to be able to pinpoint the area of interest, but it's going to be able to show us the amount of peaks and valleys on the daily and a weekly, different colors. So what you can see with that is, now we know the perfect area of interest is about 30 pips, 27 pips, Alex is saying. So 27 pips, those lines, the next thing I'm actually trying to put in is a scale that I can run against it. So I can just literally have, and what I mean by the scale, I just want to see like maybe black and white dots on a scale, and I know the distance in between them is exactly say 60 pips, and then this market indicator, area of interest indicator will basically have many horizontal lines at the peaks and valleys, and the ones that fall in between, you will see them concentrated at the more lines in that 60 pips. the more respected area of interest is, because what it is, having peaks and valleys means, you know, having touches, and we need minimum three lines per 60 pips. If you have 3 lines in a 60 pip, then we know that's valid. So the way my mind is working, if I can get a scale locked in based off the very first line on the chart and run it across the whole screen, I can just visualize the ones that has got the most lines in it. The ones that has got the most lines in it is the most peaks, it would be the most respected area of interest. I haven't back tested it yet. I'm still working on it. But this is back up and running. So as I was saying, day 4 hourly is also bearish with a bearish move. There's no other indicator or indication for me that this is going to go up at the moment. This is it. It's just going to keep pushing to the downside. It is slowing down. I can see much smaller wicks. I would say if I just put this as a marker here, and I'm going to have my stop loss just above these wicks, which are at the top of 4 hourly low high. And just curiously for Sunday when we do the analysis. Now this market, it's like I said, it's 6:52. We still have one London and New York session coming up, starting probably in the next hour and a half. So it's going to go all the way until Saturday morning in New Zealand time, and we'll see how much is pushing. Now I don't really I could probably put a demo trade on this. I guess I could, maybe I should, but we'll see how much is moving based on that fact alone. But we are at a most discount now. You don't really want to sell at discount, and the things that make me not feel comfortable when I'm so far down from the area of interest is a potential retest of the area of interest. As you see here, you know, we've been here, we had the push. Instead of going all the way down, we came back up to retest this area of interest, and that can happen again. And you just don't know it, and it's either because I'm a beginner trader and I don't understand it, or is because of the market and the war or whatever is happening. The other thing too, just not to be fooled by this beautiful signal right here, to me looks like such a powerful doji. I think this is not even a doji, it's better than a doji because it has rejection of the EMA and full engulfing. But the only thing is, this is a beautiful signal, but what it happened is not the right place. I would have rather have that happen here for the push to the downside, or have that happen here for the push to the upside, you know. But every time the market has a bigger push, I almost always see two double tops. Not always clean. I mean, this is 3 tops almost, but two taps there, 2 taps here, which is 3 with this one. Another 2 taps there, another 2 taps here. It always is in 2s and 3s, you know. So this one right here had a push to the downside and then a test, and then didn't really hold, went above. It didn't hold as support, went right through back underneath, and it's testing again. So the only thing that makes me uncomfortable taking a trade in a position like this is the fact that this market can come back up to retest another time before it does have the actual push. Because this signal right here, maybe that's my answer. Because the signal at the area of interest is not the full engulfing signal that will show that, hey, we got this, we got the power. Just imagine this right here, but opposite. Imagine this being a big bearish push. You know, that would probably, maybe that's what it means. Okay, maybe that is my answer. Like this one here, for example, you see full engulfing, it swallowed both of these after the break and retest of this area of interest, and then he had to push to the downside. But then again, I guess it wouldn't apply here because we already. But see, that's the thing. You wouldn't know anything to what's happening at the left here, but you would presume that this is going to retest this area of interest. So this signal was very late in the piece in order to have a pullback. Anyway, it is what it is. Are we still recording? We're still recording. So yeah, these are my reasons with this, but we'll see what's happening Sunday when we do the next week's analysis. And yeah, it will be interesting to see. I have no reason to see this going any different direction yet. Your JPY just going quickly to weekly, and the reason this is black, I had an eye migraine and it was really sore, so I was playing with colors, see if it's more peaceful. Yeah, it's alright, but I can read it better. But I'm kind of considering making the whole background yellow, but I don't know what color to choose for my candles. I need to play with that. But monthly monthly doesn't matter anymore. Weekly is bearish with the blue candle, so that is still the case. Weekly is bearish with the pullback. Now, because weekly is bearish, we're naturally looking for sales, but we haven't actually received the opportunity. Now you're looking at this week. This week has started at just before this area of interest, which was a pretty good area of interest. And just because I'm curious, I want to flick this daily and weekly peak valleys on and off. So you can see these lines faint, but you can see them. We can see there is a substantial amount of peaks and valleys right about here. You can actually see how they are very concentrated, which means that this is a very, very valid area of interest, like extremely valid. But it didn't freaking hold. It didn't hold one bit. So it went right through it like it was cheese. And then is heading up to God knows where. It may break this and go higher. If you're looking at our lines again, we have got two peaks here, which makes this almost a valid area of interest. Now let's just show you the pips. So this is 50 pips, and I have 1, 2, 3 lines. So that is a valid area of interest, as you can see here. It's already marked as valid. And then we have another one just about here. These 1, 2, 3, that means 3 touches. So if I actually flip this on, we can just confirm, because it's important to confirm. Yeah, so we have, the reason is 3 there is because you have 1, 2, 3. So the reality is you have got 3 touches. Now this will be about here. Apologies, and about there. So this is a pretty well respected area of interest, a weekly area of interest. And it is very possible that we're going to test that with the market and then have a push to the downside. But we don't know until we know. Yeah, so that's where things is at. I'm just going to quickly go down to daily. So when the week started, we were about this level here. Let me put this off because it doesn't matter. Actually, while I'm here, you can also see here, there's a lot of lines, of course, but until I can figure out my scale and how I'm going to actually capture only what really matters, I'm just going to keep using the on and off button to confirm my areas of interest. Because if it's, if it's an area of interest that's, I don't know, like randomly sitting like this one, for example, I still have 3 touches there because we had previous touches there, and I also can set the length. Now, daily is 6 months and weekly is a year and a half going back. And that's pretty good area of interest here. But if it isn't, if it's an area that's bad and stupid that I marked it wrong, I can just get rid of it. It wouldn't matter anymore. But that's how this works. I'm just going to put them off for now and just talk about this a little bit. Now, this had a big push to the downside. I captured the whole lot. Obviously, since I've been trading here, you can actually see this had a big push to the downside, and I thought it's going to keep going, but it is clear to me that it's not changing its character. Now, the main push is a bullish push. Like, no matter what I say, it has had a ginormous push and then it's consolidated. And that is my word, ladies and gentlemen. I remembered consolidation. Oh, hallelujah. So it is consolidating. Now, you may be already commenting in the comments, but obviously you're not commenting as I'm making the video now. I mean, I can't read the comments now because they're not there. But anyway, it is consolidating. So it's been consolidating, creating a ranging market, just going up and down. And things like this is what makes people make mistakes, because it makes me believe, oh, this is predictable now. It's going to range for a while, as it did here, I mean, just for the argument's sake, from here to here is exactly 850.8 pips, a total of 36 bars, a total of 252 days. That is a substantial amount of days. Now, if I was to just check this other big push from here all the way to when it started, that is about the same, 203 days, give or take. So it does this thing in batches. And then if you're looking, I was gonna just show you, like, if you're looking back here again, you can see about the same amount of days sitting in the ranging market, you see? And then again here, having a big push and then a massive drop. It's always been in planks like that, like in big chunks, in big chunks of, 250, 300 days, which is a year, basically, close to a year, 365, I guess, not a full year, but yeah, 8 months or so. And that's pretty, it's an important lesson. It is an important lesson for me. it is clear to me that it's important understanding the market for what it is rather than kind of anticipating. When this has had this big push to the downside, this other candle here was red at a time. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is going to carry on to the downside. But little that you kind of know that, hold on a minute, this is not going to go forever. So instead of doing what I just did and assuming that it's going to go bearish because our markets and everything, our analysis said this is bearish, this is going to have a continuation, I should have gone to, let's say, 30 minutes and just look at it and go, okay, I know that's a big thing. So we're looking at 30 minutes right now, guys, yeah? What I should have done at that time, just drop down to the 30 minutes and just look for the indicators that, hey, this market is actually now turning. You know, it's going the opposite way. And it's not really easy to actually, not easy, it is easy, but maybe a 15 minute. I just want to see, because there was no change of character that was actually easily visible there. Nah. So when we had this big push to the downside, that was it. This big push to the downside was the same at, 15 minutes and 30 minutes. Probably even 1 hour was the same. Yeah, 1 hour was the same. So maybe just a little bit different. But what we can do is we can look at this part right here and understand that that's when the market has finally changed. So if we're taking this into consideration, okay, let's just mark it. So this thing right here, let's make this nothing because I don't like it. Okay, so the market, it was bearish and it had, a pullback, and then it kind of hold until it broke through. So it broke, and then it had a retest of the structure that was broken, and then another push to the outside with heaps of consolidation. And I can even say it had a much like another retest of the structure just about here. But the thing is, for certain, even if it did that, it's when is a pullback, it is clear to me that it's not, when the pullback happens, it's just not clean. It doesn't give you the engulfing signals that I would like to see in order to feel comfortable putting a counter trend trade. And this is it. Like this right here, if this had a good retest of this previous structure that was just broken, that should have actually gone down. Let me go to 4 hourly. Will look a little bit better probably. So 4 hourly, 4 hourly, forget about it. But anyway, so 1 hourly has broken the structure, and 4 hourly came up above, retested, and had a push to the upside. Now this is probably the only cleaner indicator that we're having a deeper pullback. But seeing this and expecting a pull to the downside, we were at the time expecting rejection of this area of interest, but instead it didn't give us the rejection. It just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. But you can see how slow and grinding this is. It's like almost like scratching your face. Imagine getting in a trade and just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. It would be extremely stressful. So maybe it is that this trade does better going down than it is up. I don't know. Anyhow, wasting your time. That's what this did. So from my point now, I've been waiting for the sell. It didn't happen. Wait for the sell, didn't happen. Wait for the sell, didn't happen. Wait for the sell, didn't happen. So we keep changing. We keep changing the market structure. I mean, 4 hourly right now is still it's bullish. In order to actually take a sell, I would feel a lot more comfortable having 4 hourly change to bearish. And that's where this is at. So I wasn't able to find my entry because I keep moving this. It was here, and then it was here, and then it's here, and then it's here. So a new area of interest every time we didn't hold. Now for me to have taken this trade, I would have liked to see rejection at this level, which we did, but it didn't hold. See, so we came up here, rejection, a retest, and then a push to the downside. So this one here would have been a signal, like an engulfing, a full engulfing bearish move, and a 30-minute change of character to bearish, and then have all of the market structures align direction. And then I would have entered, taken that trade. It just didn't give us that, so we didn't take it. So I'm going to move on to the next one. GBP AUD. GBP AUD, we were... I think I was indicating a sell Okay, so Athena, as you know, is Alex's amazing AI piece of equipment, software, I should say. I call it equipment because it is a tool, a very, very good tool um, for trading. And I'm saying it's a good tool because it picks up a lot of confluences and it makes you avoid um, like things that you may see and they not. Now, with Euro USD, Athena did say it's in a buy state, and of course I knew because we came from 1.4 minus 1.4 to zero break even in probably another 600 grand. So I just didn't follow it like a dumbass. Anyway, the thing I hate about the Athena is that it's a separate page, a separate entity on itself, and you can't really put notes and all of this. So the only thing you can do with Athena, just go to Athena and have a look at it and compare it, which makes it a little bit of a bitch. It would have been amazing for Athena to be like an indicator that you can purchase and just attach it to your trading view and use it as Athena rather than what it is now. But it's still a good tool. It gives you an indication of what's what. But Athena at the time was indicating a sale, and we were looking for buys, which is really, really interesting because at the time Athena was indicating a sell. We were on a bullish state, right? So bullish was weekly was bullish with the pullback, and daily was bullish, bullish with also with the pullback. And I think I was seeing, I think I was indicating a sell. Am I seeing things? No. So Athena was saying we're looking to sell, and I was saying we're looking to buy, which is why this is here. But that's the trade that I was basically planning to take. 4 hourly was also bullish. So everything was bullish. The only thing I would say I truly hated about this particular trade is the fact that we are in the middle of weekly. Middle of weekly can be very, very wavy and very not nice. And it can do exactly what it did here, which just takes me back to reinforcing the reason of my 1-2 0.5 risk to reward. Because if I was to take this trade, that would have been my entry signal right here after that engulfing, and we're going to drop down to a lower time frame and see. And that would have had the push. That would have probably had the push to 1-to-1. But you can see this came right down to retest this, which is perfectly normal. This may actually be the push to the upside. I don't know. The thing that is clear to me is that we have came above this area of interest and retested it, and we have got an engulfing signal. Now, this engulfing signal happened at the right place, at the area of interest, quite deep in the area of interest. We have got what I'll call liquidity sweep, which is this right here. But then we're creating a double top here. Double top. But the good news is this is not an engulfing signal. So next week may actually look a lot better than it did this week for a bullish signal. But we still have Friday night. We have 2 more sessions to go, and these can do either a small consolidation or a deeper pull back, but not break below the 4 hourly low. Because if 4 hourly changes to bearish, then again we have an invalid trade for next week, and that is a big push to the downside. If this is to break, it's going to be a nightmare. Like, it will be a trade that's going to be lost. I'm not going to be able to trade. Yeah, but hey, the fun of trading. So this is where this is at, and that's why I didn't take the trade. But if I was to enter this trade, I would have been able to make that 1 to 0.5. And I'm looking now at the 30-minute. At the 30-minute after the break, so we've broken and we retested this area of interest, we had this entry signal. So imagine nothing on this side here, absolutely nothing, just we've come down to retest. We are at the area of interest at the EMA, which means we are at a 30-minute, we're below it, but as long as daily, 4 hourly, weekly, and say 1 hour is above, that's good, because that means we're rejecting the EMA. So I would take that, and I would have been entering right there. Now let's not forget my stop loss is actually the width of the area of interest. I would have entered right there, bang. That closed with the doji engulfing that sucked in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is I can't even tell you what it is because it's stupid. This is TradingView for you. It can't keep things truly in perspective as like the viewing perspective. So it keeps stretching them because I guess that's what it does. It's stretching them. So this is this is already 2.6. So I would have been able to enter right there and been able to enjoy this beautiful trade. Now I'm just gonna do this quickly because what is going on here? Okay, I guess that's what that was about. So this would have been our entry signal. Bang. Okay, so that was our entry signal. We entered before this red push to the downside. I would have been able to check the 4 hourly, and 4 hourly was blue, so the direction was confirmed. So 4 hourly was bullish with bullish push. Okay, 30-minute had a change of character, and it gave us a what is called a full engulfing signal. Daily was also bullish with a bullish push, with a current bullish push to the upside. Weekly was bullish with a bullish push to the upside. So I had all of the indications that this trade can in fact have a 0.5 push to the upside. So just going back to the 30-minute so we can see what's happening here. We'll let the trade go. That would have had a pullback and I would have shit my pants. I would have been like, holy moly. Like I would have been venting. I mean, if this account here is the 50 grand, I would have been down 25,000 and just about to cut my hairs on my veins. I'm joking. Yeah, and I would have been able to exit this trade. Let's just go to 4 hourly for the ease of it. After the first, so I entered there, 4 hourly, basically first 4 hours. I would have been able to make this trade the first 4 hours. So this is a trade that I lost this week. I can look at it and say I lost it. What can I put on top of it? I didn't actually check it well enough. I didn't pay enough attention to the timing and come and check on it. I've just now started using notifications when price reaches certain levels. I didn't know how it all works, but I investigated a little bit, a bit of ChatGPT, a bit of Google. Unfortunately, I'm not part of any groups of traders. I couldn't really ask, so I had to figure out myself. And the amazing thing, it's not hard, but I literally just pushed this button here and I saw what happened. But I didn't know whether I was going to get a notification on the computer or on the phone. And guess what? I got it on the computer and on the phone. And it was absolutely beautiful because I set it up on that Euro USD, which I obviously missed the previous opportunity to exit. And yeah, it worked well. So I guess going forward, I'm going to be able to mark the levels of the area of interest. And as soon as, I get the notifications on my phone, no matter what I am and what time it is, I should be able to check unless I'm sleeping. So that's the next thing, which I need to somehow figure it out because London and New York session happens in the middle of the night. So from 9 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. So that's when I'm doing most of the sleeping. And if the entry signal happens when I'm sleeping, that's not good. So yeah, I need to change my life to be a better trader. See why that question is more important than if trading can change my life. Anything can change your life. The reality is any business that you start can change your life, but it starts with you changing yourself to make it happen. So this is such a eye-opening, absolutely amazing. Anyway, so yeah, that's my missed opportunity. And actually look at that. Holy shit, that had a big push. And again, with what I just said to you guys about not exiting the trade when the market has kind of when the market hasn't really showed you what's happening. Now, if you're looking at this one right here, I'm going to go back on the replay a little bit, start new, because we want to see, oh, come on, buddy. Okay, we want to see what happened here. So that closed. So at the moment, 4 hourly is still bullish push. We're going to weekly, still blue. Of course, weekly, daily, and weekly will be the same. So let's just play one more candle here. Bam, that's red. So we're going to daily. Daily is still blue. Weekly is still blue. Okay, so we would have probably at about this, yeah, this is gonna, so right now daily and weekly is red. It went all the way down. So we would have basically missed the opportunity. However, I still believe, I've seen this happen before. I still believe we are in the right place for a buy. Everything is what it needs to be for a buy. And it is possible that we're just going to see this go to the upside. But we are now waiting for 4 hourly to give us the engulfing signal and drop down to the 30-minute in order to get like a sniper entry, so we can, you know, hopefully make a good dent in it. Now, this is not going to be a trade that's going to happen now, but tonight should determine what's going to happen next week. So I really like this one. Next one is USD CAD. Now, what we learned from Euro USD is that all of the USD pairs have had a big push in the USD favor. As you can see here, it's an absolutely amazing trade. That same night that I went to sleep, after I exited my beautiful trade, and the USD had this ginormous push, everything else that had USD in it had the same push, either to the downside or to the upside, which again is a lesson for me, because what that tells me, all of the pairs that have got USD and Euro in them, if Euro is powerful, all of the pairs with Euro is going to push. And actually goes the same for every pair, unless you have something like JPY and USD. JPY will never really be more powerful than the USD, I don't think, as in truly powerful. I'm losing myself here in what I'm saying. Just skipping it simple, all of the pairs that had USD in them, because USD had the big push with the Euro USD pair that I've looked at, everything else had the push. And of course, at the same time I lost Euro USD potential, I lost everything else. Like this one right here, I was waiting for my entry signal, and guess what? We broken below, we came back down to retest, rejected the EMA, we just didn't have the liquidity grab, which I would have liked it to happen. And then we have a push to the downside, which is why the trading is a game of, what should I call it? A game of probabilities, right? So it is probable, once these had given us this beautiful engulfing, bearish engulfing, that would have been a beautiful trade. There is a couple of things I want to highlight that, you know, it didn't stand well with me putting a sell. This would have been a counter trade, because weekly is bullish, monthly is bullish. The only thing that was bearish was daily and 4 hourly, right? So because of monthly, weekly being bullish, and at the area of interest, it was not making me feel comfortable with the trade. However, the things that should have been bringing red flags was the fact that monthly was bullish with the pullback was red, as in the direction was bearish. Same with weekly, and then daily was already in a bearish state. So that should have screamed to me, hey, you're actually in a much bigger pullback. So you can look at potential sales, even though weekly didn't align. And the reality is, I am saying quite often that if daily and 4 hourly align, we can take a trade. If daily and weekly align, we can take a trade based on those trends, because trend is your friend. So that's what's happening with this particular trade. So there's again more lessons to learn. I don't even think I can break them all down for the YouTube video, but there's a lot of little details that it's kind of coming into play when you do it. And it's easy to break it down after it happened, but it's clear to me. You just have to just risk it. Just you got the signal, just go for it. Next is AUD CAD. AUD CAD is still at the area of interest. It hasn't really done much in our favor. We are currently seeking sales, and it hasn't really broken below. This is the first time that we properly broken below and coming back up here to retest this area of interest. So I would say this will be a trade that will happen for us next week. We were waiting for this to happen, and it happened literally this week. Bang, bang, look at it. Bang, 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 bang. And it's absolutely stunning, because it is at the area of interest and at the EMA. So very pretty. And I would also say that we can look at this part here and say liquidity has been taken. maybe a little bit too far down. This may actually be from last week. 4 hourly, no, this is this week. So the liquidity has been taken, and now we're preparing to have a push to the downside. So it is pretty cool. The reason I'm saying the liquidity has been taken is because even here you can see that I was anticipating a buy. So what actually happened, this broke above. So looking at all the trades above, I realized that, hey, the pullbacks can be deeper. There's a lot of things that go with it, which I broke them literally in the USD CAD pair. Same with this on here. We broke above, we came down to retest, and we're having a push, but that push wasn't an actual signal. It didn't. I mean, it was engulfing. Yeah, you had this engulfing push. Looked decent. However, it had done nothing. It just went straight down, and then there will be a lot of people that would have done exactly what I just did, and then you got them wicked out. So I would almost say it's like a reversed liquidity grab, just like a fake out, and people got wicked out because they got lied to by what their eyes, because they saw something. I saw it and I marked it, but I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in it because everything was bearish. Everything was bearish. We were supposed to go down, and if there was to be a pullback, it wasn't my trade unless I had a higher time frame having the correct color. And again, we broke above this and came back down. So even if I was to look at this big push to the upside and have all of the other time frames align, as in have the same direction, I would have had to wait for the retest, because every time the market breaks a structure, we'll have a retest, or 90% of the time, and that retest would have changed your opinion about it and go like put you on guard and wait for it. But yeah, that's where this one is at. So Sunday we'll kind of break it up again and see where we're at. Now this AUD JPY was looking for sales. So we were looking for sales, and look, nothing happened. All right. All our beautiful indication of this going for a sell have completely failed. We had this big pullback. We were supposed to have a bearish move at the area of interest with a retest and a push down. Now this happened, but a lot higher. So it's whatever is happening there, it may be more important at a different level, different time frame. Now I don't know. I mean, looking at this right now, I don't think it's gonna have a push to the downside anytime soon. It looks like it's going to go for the top, even possibly break above. I do not know. I do not know. And maybe this is just not the trade. There's a couple of things that's worth mentioning at a daily level. We have a ginormous engulfing, right? So this ginormous engulfing that's happening right here, I would say to me that it is a big indication that we have a lot of buyers on the market, and that should indicate to me that we're going to have a push to the upside, which is like a pullback, right? Because we are bearish, but it's a pullback, a deep pullback. Now, for me to be able to do anything with that would mean that I need to see a reaction at an area of interest. And just from my curiosity alone, I just put this indicator on that I've just developed to see whether there is any mistakes with my area of interest. And I can see a concentration of areas, potential areas right here. And I can see a lot of little kind of resistance points with long wicks down the bottom. Sorry guys, our music has stopped. We can see like consolidation and push to the upside. So I would say, if I am to be correct, when this daily has closed, this is from observation point of view. I'm not a professional trader. I would not be able to tell you, hey, I can actually make money with trades like this in the future, but I can say these observations, and eventually they're going to stick in my brain, and I'll be able to see them in the future and go, okay, that's probably a good trade, right? At least, looking at this on here, this signal right here was a lot more boring than this one, but it still had the ginormous push, right? But this is a lot cleaner and it has a big push. So maybe every time we're having a push like this, we can take a good trade. And if this happens over enough trades, you will still compound and have a substantial account. So if I was to look for an entry signal, would have had to be after this. So in theory, we had to break this leg right here. This would have been the first bullish leg. However, the weekly, this is daily, sorry, daily was still bearish, but this first candle that closed now, that would have been the first engulfing, let's say, engulfing bullish candle. So that would have indicated the power. I would have had then to drop at the 4-hourly and try and understand an entry signal. And based on that, I would say, okay, so we broke above. Now let me just see. Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that stands out to me right now, that 4-hourly was already bullish after this candle right here. So this was the last bearish leg at a 4-hourly. We had this big deep push, didn't hold, and we came back down. So we created a low low and a low high, and that was broken, but we didn't retest. It was just broken, and then just a big push to the upside. But remember, we're not going to do anything with that until we prove that daily had closed engulfing, and that's where this little red fine line is. That closed engulfing, we've broken above it, we created a new 4-hourly high, which meant we are coming back down to retest the area of interest. Wow, now that I'm looking at this, absolutely incredible. And then we have this ginormous push to the upside, which is another engulfing. So what that tells me is, hey, there's a potential buy right here. So I would have most certainly marked my stop loss right there and entered right about there, only to see that I got wicked out. Look at that. And then the trade would have gone my way. So this highlights to me why it's so crucial to actually, not counter trade. When you counter trade, it is riskier. Now, would I been able to find the entry signal, like a better entry signal than this? Probably. And the way to avoid it would be to apply the principles, like look at the area of interest and just wait for the area of interest breaking and retesting. And that didn't happen, so you do not take the trade. If you're aggressive, you can then take the trade, but if you're not aggressive, you can't take the trade. That's it. That's so beautiful, so clean. We've done the breakdown, we understand what we would have done and we would have lost. So understanding that it had the big push is good. Then you're looking at what could have I done about it, finding an entry signal, and then you realize that it would have been an absolute cock-up. Even if I waited, oh, mind you, if I would have been to say wait or look at this market and not feel comfortable to enter here and just wait for this doji to finish with this liquidity sweep is what I'll call, I could have probably entered there. But what's the chances that I would have done that? Extremely small, because I would have been looking for a sell. So at no point I was actually seeking a buy. If anything, I would have probably done the opposite and still get wicked out and go for a short position right after this has closed. And mind you, in saying that, that may have actually worked. 0.5. Yeah, that would have actually worked. Yeah, so again, that's showing me that the 0.5 logic could potentially save your ass and still have a win. However, just remember, for any sales that I'm putting, I will always be waiting for the break and retest. So we're not just gonna go randomly. But yeah, these are lessons that I like to look at and understand, and maybe in the future I'll be able to be a guru and understand what the heck it's actually happening and protect myself. Because maybe all I have to do, just look for those signals for the pullbacks and risk a lot less money just to take a trade, and just check in the process the size of the area of interest, and maybe just go a little bigger, maybe go double, go 120. and then have a push. But anyway, it's getting pointless. All right, next one is GBP JPY. GBP JPY, same thing. We're looking for buys. I do not know why this is here. We're looking for buys, so we're looking for this and that. Why, I would say we actually missed this. This is this week. I have no, what can I say? I do not know why I didn't take this trade. Let me see, because this was bearish. This changed. Yeah, probably my entry signal wasn't the cleanest. I had both daily and weekly in my favor. However, the 4 hourly was still not. It didn't give me the bullish entry signal. Let's see. At the 30 minutes. So at the 30 minutes, we did have an engulfing at the 30 minutes. Yeah, but I think the thing that put me off was the fact that we didn't have a break and retest of the area of interest. I would have probably entered. I would have probably entered at the area of interest, and I think I would have done the same with the other trades. So I would have probably taken a couple of losses there for sure. And I just think it's a kind of good indication that you can do it, but it is really risky. So maybe it is worth to come and break above and then come back down to wait for an engulfing signal. So that would have been this one here. And that would have been a beautiful trade. That would have been, yeah, that would have had a beautiful push to the upside. I would have been able to make this work. Anyway, it's a trade that I didn't take. I can put this in the same box with the other ones that I wasn't focused enough and I didn't spend enough time here just watching it and focusing on other shit. Here's the JPY. USD JPY was trade the pullback only full time frame. Okay, let me put this off because we don't want this. So expecting a pullback, waiting, looking for sales. So we are looking for sales. So guys, this hasn't yet made it to the area of interest. In fact, it was consolidating at the area of interest when the week started. And if you're going down to the 4 hourly, it was just not clean. It just went above, it didn't hold and came back down. So I wasn't really feeling this one, but it is right now coming back down to retest this area of interest. It is possible that this is it. This is maybe I can just recheck the area of interest. Maybe this is because it's at the EMA, we're rejecting it at the 4 hourly, and that's engulfing. So maybe that is our signal right there, and we're gonna see our push to the downside. And that's it. Euro USD. You already know what happened with this one. And yeah, that concludes today's episode. And it's taken me 1 hour and 7 minutes, which is not too bad. Just wanted to have a look at the markets. I know it's a number of markets, but I think if I only choose a few, it wouldn't give me enough opportunity to learn. And maybe down the line, I'm gonna say that was a mistake, but I just won't know until I know, right? So this is the journal. It is as it is. Remember, I'm not editing. I'm not doing anything. Whatever I say, it goes in because I want you guys to be able to see what it took me to get to what I got to when you're watching this video. If you literally just watching, I'm still nowhere. I haven't made any money in over 2.5 months now, which is really really annoying. But the way I look at it, I'm investing in my knowledge, understanding a little bit more about markets. I'm really, really, really new to it all. I've only started this in February, so I just have to juggle my job, my family, and everything else I do in between to give me the right time to do it. And this is why I was talking about earlier about the main question I had was of this whole challenge: can trading change my life? That was the biggest question I asked myself. Can trading change my life and break free from all of the stupid shit I have to do in order to provide for my family? I wouldn't say stupid shit. I mean, I have a construction company, I'm doing renovation work. It is pretty good, but it's very, very demanding, and I'm there all the time. Then it's days with no work, there's days with too much work, and it's a little bit hectic. It doesn't give me the freedom that I want to have, and the freedom that I want to have is basically creating time so I can spend time with my kids. You know, teach them things that I learned when I was younger. You know, play hobbies together, and all sorts of things that are beneficial for the family to grow and bond. And I think the trading has got that that power to do it. And I've seen it. I see Alex, I see other traders, they all, enjoying the life, they're enjoying the fruit of their work, 5, 6, 7, 8 years worth of work. I cannot expect me to be a successful trader after 6 months of trading. But I think I came really far, and I have a much bigger understanding of trading compared to me 6 months ago. I know nothing about trading, literally nothing, and what I know now compared to then is ginormous step. And even like that as it is, I was able to take a substantial amount of trades on the demo accounts, and even on my real account. I made money, I lost money, then I played with I probably blown 3 or 4 demo accounts until I had this one. And it's just, I think it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time locking in all of the knowledge, and actually refining refining the rules, your rules and your strategy. Now, my strategy is obviously based on what I've learned and looked around. So it's going to take a while to adjust to my own style and what I'm comfortable with, and how I understand the market and how I understand the moves and all of that stuff. But eventually, if you adjust yourself enough, you will be able to get there. And I just want to become the living proof for you guys that it is working if you give it your very best. Now, since February, there's not one day that I've missed looking at the trades. Even if it was for literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour a day, multiple times, little times, a day. But there's not one day that I have not had a look at the trading and thought of new ideas, new things, testing something, doing an indicator. So I have trading constantly in my life, and I think that's really, really important. And the one important thing is also understanding once the week has gone, and once the trades have lost or missed or whatever, understanding what actually happened, because those things will make the difference from now to the future trades. I'm going to be able to learn from the trades that are happening now or not happening now, and apply them for future trades. And the market structure will never look 100% the same, but it tends to have the same behavior. So it is possible to get better, constantly better, and eventually have winning streaks, eventually have losing streaks, and eventually have a big account, and eventually make a living out of trading. So that's my goal. That's my goal. Change my life in order to become the most successful trader I can be. Now, I may not be a millionaire, but if I can just provide for my family doing trading, I'll be much more grateful, because that means I can take my family on holiday and still sit in front of the computer and still provide for the family without having to physically worry about leads and getting work through and all of that stuff. So I'm dedicated to this channel. I'm dedicated to you guys. I want to show you what it takes. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, honestly, feel free to not stick around. You're not there because you want to learn from me. You're there because you want to see how long it took or is taking me to become successful. All right. So whatever you're watching now, things that I'm saying, they may be wrong. And if that's the case and you're a professional watching this, which I absolutely doubt it, let me know in the comments things I'm doing wrong. Say, hey, do this or do that. And maybe send me a private message or whatever it is. If you have got a group of traders that are amazing and they growing and learning, let me know. I'd love to see if I can join, because currently everybody that has a group, they work hard to get the group. They don't want you to come in, make money without actually paying a little bit of money to them. For someone that's new like myself, it's hard to get that money put together to do it. So you will be in my position, and it will be hard. So I'm kind of trying to build knowledge, and then I'm going to try build a network of traders around me, and learn from each other. All right. So I appreciate you watching this video. This is the end of it. I'm going to cut it short. It's just already taking a little bit too long. And we're going to see you Sunday with next week's analysis. There's a couple of trades that I see Alex keeping an eye on. Hopefully they haven't gone yet, and we can capture them. Alex is pretty good at it, so we trust him. If his strategy matches our strategy, that'll be a plus. If it doesn't, we'll try and understand why his analysis are different. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, and if you enjoyed this video, just like and subscribe just for the future episodes. it may be 10 months, it may be 1 month, it may be 3 years, but I'm gonna keep doing this until we can understand when trading and my personal time to trading has kind of vibed at the same time to become successful enough to make a living out of trading. And I will keep posting the success stories. So once I get to a profitable level, I'm not just gonna stop. I'm gonna just keep going and just keep going. Because what happens is the learning path is exactly like a market structure. It just goes up, and then you think you know it all, and then you realize you don't, and then it's gonna go higher, and you're gonna think you got it again, and then you're gonna be slammed again to the bottom, and eventually, but slowly, ever slightly higher, every time slightly higher. So you're getting better with every dip that you take. So just have the patience, guys. Have the patience. All right. I'm trying to have the patience myself. So yeah, wish me luck. I wish you guys luck, and see you next time. Bye for now.